Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple stock, it's up 0.28%, so kind of a flat day on Apple. But if you look at my screen, Apple today ran all the way up to 174, came back all the way down to 5-day moving average 171 right here, this blue line, and then went right back up. And into closing, we got some good news. Apple finally trading above 173. And as long as Apple can hold right here, going into tomorrow's session, you're going to see a move all the way up to 13-day moving average 176 and possibly up to this gap 177.38. Now, as soon as we get that breakout over 177.38, you're going to see explosive move here on Apple all the way up to 180 and possibly even 183. But we are not out of the woods yet until Apple actually breaks and holds 177 right here, guys. Now, critical support tomorrow, 173, 171, 170, and then all the way down here, 166. On Meta, it's up 3.34%, and Meta here came down to 484.73, and this is where I got in this morning. 485, getting some 500 calls. And guess what, guys? Sold way too early, sold at 494 and some change. And this thing ran all the way up to 502.31, and that was really nice on Meta, going almost at 100%. Those calls exploded. Now, yes, we got paid on Meta, but this thing definitely we left a lot of money on the table. And that is how a day trade always goes. You're not going to sell at the top, and also you're not going to catch exactly bottom. Well, in this case, I did catch the bottom right here at 485 exactly this morning. Now, all these trade ideas are available on Patreon, and if you guys want to support the channel, definitely check out their link down below in the description. Now, here on Meta, if you look at my screen, holding around 500. So that is bullish, guys, right here on Meta. As long as Meta can hold 500, you're going to see a move all the way back up to right here, 504 and then 513 to even 520. To the downside below 500. Watch out for the support, strong support, 490, and then look at where we got bounced and why I played this morning. 20-day moving average 486 support, and guess what? Exactly off of this 20-day moving average, we got a massive bounce from 485, ran up to 502.31. So below 490, that's gonna be a strong support to watch right here. 486 to the upside, as long as Meta can hold 500 tomorrow, more upside all the way up to 504, 513.24 right here, upper Bollinger Band, and then possibly been 520, guys. So Meta, yes, we got that pullback. We got really nice setup on a pullback here on Meta. Locked in profit yesterday and today. Again, another nice trade on Meta, back up to the upside. So you got to know when to get in, and anytime you see any big stocks actually coming down to 20-day moving average, that is a big support. You can take a little bit of risk right here. As long as you have a stop loss and a game plan, you're going to make money on a stock like Meta, Apple, and Microsoft. On Amazon stock, it's up almost 2%, and Amazon ran all the way up to 176.76 and now trading above 175. So Amazon here, guys, 175, that's gonna be your line in the sand going into tomorrow's session, and below that 173. Now, yesterday we saw a big sell-off here on Amazon, and look at the bounce today, guys. Immediately this thing getting a big bounce. It was up actually over $4, and now trading at 175.39. So going into tomorrow's session, 175, 173, and then watch out below 173. You're going to see Amazon coming down and closing this gap 170.23. That's gonna be also a support, and below that 167. Now, as long as Amazon can hold 175, then watch out for a move all the way back up to 180. On Google stock, it's up 0.5%, and if you look at my screen as we speak, Google actually breaking out of this downtrend. We just need that breakout confirmation, getting above 140. And look at today, guys, for the day 140.28. So that is looking extremely bullish here on Google. As long as Google can hold 140, you're going to see this whole thing playing out. Google actually breaking out of this downtrend and going all the way up to this gap 144.79 and possibly even closing these two gaps on top. So going into tomorrow's session, 140, that needs to break on Google. And soon as we get that, next stop, 143.30, 50-day moving average, and then this gap just under 145. And once we get up to 145, then we can talk about more upside. Also on a downtrend right here, if this thing actually gets a pullback tomorrow, we do have strong support now at 138, and below that right down here 136.53, 135, and then in no man's land all the way down to 130. On Tesla, stock is down 0.13%, so kind of a flat day on Tesla. And again, same story here on Tesla, making a new low here and also going back up close to 180, getting a rejection, and now trading above 175 to 176, and that is holding into closing. So Tesla here, guys, we need to find a bottom right here. If not, Tesla can dump even more all the way down to that gap right down here, which is at 162.95. Now Tesla needs to get above 180, and soon as we get that, then you're going to see Tesla moving even higher up to this gap 186.72, and then watch out for 190.57, 20-day moving average, and above that Tesla definitely out of the woods. At least in the short term, we could see a move up to 194 to even 200, but critical support needs to hold 175 to 176, and also it needs to get above 180 immediately. Otherwise, like I said, Tesla can go all the way down to 162.95. On AMD, it's up 2.20%. And what happened here on AMD, guys? Now, I called this move last night that AMD can come down here to 193 to close this gap, and possibly from here, you're going to see a bounce. Now, unfortunately, I was watching AMD and only waiting for this gap to get filled. And guess what? We got a hammer candle on AMD, which is insane, guys. Again, looks like we might be going back up again on AMD. And I totally missed this move here on AMD, not getting in just because this thing did not get down to 193. So here on AMD, guys, we got a hammer candle. We still have this gap 193 right here. So going into tomorrow's session, AMD, now that is trading above 200 easily, early as tomorrow morning, you're going to see AMD closing this gap at 205.60, and above that, this thing can run all the way back up to 215 and possibly even 220. Now below 200, then watch out, AMD can come down to 195.64, rising 13-day moving average. That's gonna be a support to watch, and just below that 193, this gap. We also have support down here below 193, and that's gonna be 187.80, rising 20-day moving average, and then 184. But AMD here, definitely keep an eye out. Tomorrow we got this hammer candle on AMD stock. So Netflix also going up 1.69%, and look at this move here on Netflix. Look below and then trap a lot of bears right here, getting under 600 and then getting a massive bounce all the way up to 615.30, and now it's trading above 604, and that's gonna be your line in the sand going into tomorrow's session on Netflix. 604, 600, and then we also have support down here 593.86, 588. But as long as Netflix can stay above 600 to 604, this thing can push all the way up to 625 to even 630. On Nvidia stock, it's up 7.16%, and you can see why I said that yesterday, that 840, that is a dip buy on Nvidia stock, at least in the short term. I'm not talking about buying and holding long term, guys, so don't get me wrong. And you can see a strong bounce off of that level 840, and now trading at 927 right now. I mean, it's up $61 on the day, and it's still not enough. Now up another $8, which is insane. And we got those CPI numbers. And guess what, guys? That is actually not a good catalyst for this market. Inflation is sticky. And guess what the market did? Massive rally, and big thanks to Nvidia stock going up over 7%. And that is why you're seeing SPY ETF and Nasdaq 100 triple Q going up massively today. So what's next here on Nvidia stock? Well, now we do have support down here, 898 to 900, and above that you are going to see continuation all the way up to 947 and possibly 960, and then this high 974. Below 898, then watch out, we might see another dump off, possibly down to 840, and then this gap 823. So here's another stock with bad catalyst, led this rally today up 2.66%, which is Microsoft, and now we can see breaking out of this consolidation right here, and that is a big bullish breakout. Now it's not gonna get too far, and why? Because look at this Bollinger Band on top. It's sitting at 416.86, so I would say now that it's holding 415, possibly you're going to see a move up to 420, and that is it for now, unless we get any other big catalyst on Microsoft that can push the price higher all the way up to 430. Until then, watch 415, 413, and 410 all the way down to 408, 20-day moving average as a support, and we gapped up today. So you can see we got this gap down here at 405.68 on Microsoft. To the upside, as long as I would say Microsoft can stay above 413 to 415, next stop 420, and then we can talk about possibly another fresh new all-time high. But definitely you can see a big bullish engulfing candle and also breaking out of this downtrend, which is bullish here on Microsoft.